Hey y'all, it's Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and I'm here today to do a review on another deck. I've got a list of decks that everybody wants. I'm still looking for all my decks. Some of you know that I've just recently moved, so it's been kind of crazy. You can see my crazy room in the background. Let me hide some of this stuff. You don't need to see all this stuff, do you? Oh my gosh! The requisite squirt bottle for the cats. Oh yeah. So today I'm going to talk about a deck by Lucy Cavendish. It's called the Oracle of the Dragonfae. This is from Blue Angel Gallery, and it is distributed by US Games, and that's who I got a review copy from. Here's the box. It's a nice box. It's a good thick box. See the back? A few images. And I do like that they have the ISBN. I use a program to keep track of my decks, and that program has an IBSN scanner. So that's what I, sometimes you have to hand type it in, but sometimes you don't. That's always good. The cards are big. I have fairly large hands for a woman. Trying to find out, how about a normal size wallet, right? That's just a little trifold wallet, and you can see how big they are compared to that. The book is extensive. I've got cards marked because that's what I want to do. There are pictures of the cards in here, little ones, so not big ones. And it's called Oracle of the Dragonfae, Lucy Cavendish, a magical guidebook. There's a nice little picture of Lucy herself back there on the back. And she talks about working magic every single day of her life, embracing it as a creed for personal fulfillment and happiness, and as a belief system that sees us as part of nature. So really, really nice. She's also the author of the Oracle Tarot, which I have, the Magical Spell Cards, and White Magic, all of which are published by Hay House. So she's a featured writer for several magazines, has appeared in anthologies, goes on TV and radio, and she is living in Sydney with her pixie-like daughter and the spirit of a beautiful Labradoodle dog. How sweet is that? So we're going to start. I pulled some cards at random. I pulled some cards intentionally. You'll have to guess which. The first one is Medicine, and her message is love who you are. And they say that she is Dragonfae. She's dragon, woman, and fae being. She's learned to come out as her true self and love who she is. Now, I really love that message because in a way, about coming out as who she truly is, there's a message that many of us in the world can take to heart, right? Live your life as who you are. Don't worry about what other people's opinions matter. What is the quote by Eleanor Roosevelt? Something about other people's opinions don't matter. I don't remember it. I should have looked it up before. Nice cards though. Look, see, good quality, nice and thick, and really just pretty colors. And then the back is reversible. Let me do that. I have to sing while I do it. It's more fun for me. The next card we're going to look at is Nimue. Now she does use, here's something she does. She uses a lot of familiar names like Arthurian tale, like Nimue, some familiar names. Nimue says, seek the counsel of the crystals. And here's she has this, each character speaks, and here's what this one says. Between my two hands lies the power of all that is. The connections between the earth and the stars, the realms through which you can move to bring about your deepest desires and dreams. But do you dare to dream it? Are you courageous enough to declare your desire? So really, it's a pretty powerful message, right? And it's got 1, 2, 3 pages. We're getting to you. Quit jumping. And then she gives you divinatory meanings about the character, working with the characters. And she says it's pronounced Nimue. So, there is. And you can see that she does have her dragon with her little dragon friends here and here. Now, the next one we go to that was leaping out, again with the Arthurian names, Morgan Le Fay. And this card is healing. Now, for a traditional meaning of Morgan Le Fay, it's a bit different because she was seen as a bad girl, right? This just talks about Morgan. The element of water is the feeling one, and your feelings have been hurt. Okay, so some of the messages in here make assumptions. I'm not always good with that, but it does talk about a time for a need of shelter, longing to return to a home that is of the soul, wanting someone else to take up your cause. So that does speak to Morgan Le Fay and the traditional meaning, because she did feel left out and excluded. Now let's move on. Oh, this is... Now, the cards are not alphabetical in the book. They're numerical. So you have to look at the top of the card to see the number. So that's 19, right? And this is the Wild Huntress. Face your shadow. And it talks about her working with skill and privacy and silence to seek out what needs to happen. Not afraid to be hard, not afraid to do the dirty work. So that's a really interesting message here. And it talks about working with the hunters, growing your own food, being more resilient. And here she also talks about athames, or athames. She also calls it a witch's sword, which I think is a bit of a reach, because an athame is really about that long, double-bladed, right? Not a big sword. So I'm waving her around. But look at the mask or the expression on her. Here's a painted-on mask. And the stance. I mean, she's very cocky. And I happen to pull 3 cards in a row. And I really wanted to show you this card because of the message. Now, here it is. Beautiful, beautiful dragon. This is the Pendragon. Pure male energy. And what I like about this is that it shows that this deck is not totally feminine oriented. There are male energies encompassed in this deck. Now, it's heavily feminine, absolutely. But we still do have the guys showing up. So let me see if I can get him a little bit closer for you to see that really subtle green on green and the lighter. I really love this. And I love his face. I'm hoping y'all can see it, because once I get the card up there, can't see a thing. Now, this one's a pretty card. It's card number 25. Lady of the New Buds. Nurture tenderness is her message. And she cares for all new tender growth, including yours. How sweet. It talks about watering your dreams, planting your seeds, nurturing your energy and nurturing what you want out of life. I think that's a really important message that a lot of us don't do. My message of seek joy, y'all, it's a healing thing for me. Joy brings me joy. Redundant, but it works. And without it, it's a different world for me. So here we go to another one, and this is called Hidekai, or Hideki's door. It's a knock on the door. And it says, reach out, knock at the door. And this is about asking for what you want. The message here is, if you're nervous about a new chance, feeling as though your comfort zone is far better than the unknown, go ahead and knock. This is a male. It's a powerful wee Dragonfae who dwells much of the time in the east. And it's about new possibilities and new beginnings. Chances taken. I love it. Knock on the door. Knock on the door. Getting them stacked up so they don't go spreading, so my cats can't go tromping through them. And this is one I picked intentionally. I love this card. I think it's beautiful. I think that if I were going to do a tattoo of any out of this deck, this might be the one I chose. Her name is Fernia. And she's Clarity. And she talks about green. Consider the truth of what it is you wish for, and know that whatever you commit to, expectations play no part in this promise. She says, I promise what you want, but I also promise that your supposed nirvana will be muddy and dirty and difficult at times. Authentic, right? Because when you work for what you really want, it's not all beautiful and easy. You know, sometimes it's packing all your stuff up and moving to another state to be with your heart's desire. It's there's work involved. And when you fool yourself into thinking that it's going to be super simple, you kind of rip yourself off, guys. So why do that, right? And working with Fernia, beginning to understand the impulses and flux and flow of romantic love, as opposed to the love between souls that is steadfast and timeless. Communicating with the Dragonfae via your garden, conserving nature, and working with Dana energy in her plant forms. A very dear friend of mine is a pretty excellent dragon worker. And he and his partner, they're Griff and Bit to me, but other people know them by other names. I'll just use those. Do a lot of spirit work, so I think this might be a really fun deck for them. I'm going to pull a few more cards and just show you a few more without even really talking about them. Oh, I love that one. It's so pretty. And we'll do a couple more. The Guardians. I love that there are two there, right? She's not alone. She's not by herself. She's sitting on the snout of a big boy. And if you haven't guessed it by yet, I'm crazy about dragons. Used to collect them as a... Gosh, I started probably when I was in my early teens, maybe even pre-teens. And my mom brought me one of my favorite dragons. He's gone now. His name is Ronaldo. He didn't make it through one of my moves. Again, with the pretty, the colors, the flow. And I love that she mixes and matches up the different, you see some Arthurian, you see some Asian. There's different ethnicities in here, at least to some extent. The Sovereign. Okay, guys, we're going to show one more. We're going to pull whatever's on the bottom, and we're going to look at the bottom card. Ooh. Bittersweet Farewell, Pellinor and the Lady. And we'll have to let that be our own Bittersweet Farewell. I hope you'll take a look at this deck online. Again, it's called Oracle of the Dragonfae. It is by Lucy Cavendish. It's distributed by U.S. Games here in the States and Blue Angel Gallery abroad. She is an Australian artist, and it is Blue Gallery is an Australian publisher. Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.